Welcome to my math channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to evaluate an expression.
So when you're evaluating an expression, really all you're doing is using substitution and then solving the expression after you've substituted. So we're going to start with an easy one. Okay, we're given the expression 2x plus 3, and we're given the variable when x is equal to 5. So again, whenever you're evaluating an expression, they're going to provide you with the expression, and then they're going to tell you what the variable is equal to. So in this case, they're telling us everywhere you see the letter x, it's actually equal to the number 5. So wherever you see the letter x, you can replace it with the number 5. So we're going to do just that. So because I have a dry erase board, I can show you exactly what we're doing. 2x plus 3. Well, I know that x is actually equal to the number 5. So I'm going to take the x out, I'm going to replace it. Now because this is being held together by multiplication, I can't just put the number 5. That's going to look like 25, and that's not what we have. So instead of just putting the number 5, I have to indicate that it's being multiplied, and we usually do that by putting parentheses. So this expression, 2x plus 3, when x is equal to 5, is the same thing as 2 times 5 plus 3. Now this is so easy to solve for. You can use PEMDAS, you can use mental math, you can use your calculator. If you're using your calculator, you're just gonna enter it exactly the way you see it. I have this TI 30X, pretty standard calculator, like $8. 2 times, I'm gonna put in parentheses 5 plus 3, and I get the answer to be 13. But this is a pretty easy problem to solve, even if you're doing it in your head. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Well, 10 plus 3 is equal to 13. So our answer, when we evaluate this expression, when x is equal to 5, the answer is 13. Make it a little trickier. Some cases, they'll give you an expression that has more than one variable. So we're gonna look at the expression negative a plus 5b minus 6. So this is our expression, and then they're gonna tell us when a is equal to negative 2, and b is equal to 3. So again, whenever we're evaluating an expression, they're going to give us the expression, and then they're also going to tell us what the variables are equal to. In this case, we have 2 different variables, so they tell us what both variables are equal to. So again, I'm lucky I have a dry erase marker. I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing here. I'm rewriting the original expression, and now I'm going to substitute. Okay, I'm going to do the a in green. So a is equal to negative 2. Well, right here I have negative a. Just the a. The a is equal to negative 2. So I'm going to replace that letter a, and usually whenever I'm replacing anything, I always put it in parentheses, negative 2. So I have negative, negative 2, negative a. A is equal to negative 2, so I replace it with negative 2. Now the b, I'm going to do that in red. I'm going to replace the b with 3. So now I have plus 5. Again, whenever I'm substituting, I'm putting it in parentheses because it's being held together by multiplication. So 5 times 3. So I've replaced the letter b with the number 3 because I know b is equal to 3. I've replaced the letter a with negative 2. Now I have no more variables left. I can solve this. I can type it in my calculator. I can use mental math. So if I'm typing it in my calculator, here we go. I have negative, parenthesis, negative 2, close them up, plus 5, parenthesis, because I'm multiplying, 3, minus 6. So it's entered in my calculator the exact same way that it's typed in my, that I typed it on my page. Press enter and I get the answer positive 11. So I can do this using mental math too. Negative, negative 2. Well, when you have a double negative, they cancel out. So this really becomes positive 2. Plus, well, 5 times 3 is 15 minus 6. Now I can simplify this. 15 plus 2 is 17 minus 6, and 17 minus 6 is in fact 11. So when I'm given this expression, negative a plus 5b minus 6, when a equals negative 2 and b equals 3, my answer is 11. Now when you finally see an evaluating expression question on the Regents, it's going to be set up a little different. Usually they name the expression or they make it a function. They'll say g of x is equal to x to the third plus 2x squared minus x. Let's say evaluate g of negative 3. So this is just a more confusing way of showing us how to substitute. If you notice, they told us g of x, and they're telling us to evaluate g of negative 3. Well, where is the negative 3 in the place of? If you take a look, it used to be x, and now it's negative 3. So this is really telling me, by telling me to evaluate g of negative 3 when g of x was what they gave me, they're telling me that x is equal to negative 3. They're telling me this. This is important. So now I know that x is equal to negative 3. Everywhere I see the letter x, I'm going to replace it with the number negative 3. So when I evaluate, I have g of x, again, let's write it out, equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus x. So I have a lot of x's that I need to replace. The first one is right here. I'm going to replace that x, put it in parentheses, with negative 3. I'm going to replace this x, put it in parentheses, with negative 3. I'm going to replace this x, put it in parentheses, with negative 3. Okay, everywhere there was a letter x, again, look at the original equation. I had an x, I replaced it with negative 3. I had an x here, I replaced it with negative 3. I had an x at the end, I replaced it with negative 3. Okay, now I have to go through and evaluate this. This is easier on my calculator. I can type it into my calculator. I have some exponents that I need to be careful of, and I have a lot of negative signs. So I'm gonna type it in exactly the way I have it written. So let's take a look at what that would look like. I'm gonna start with the parenthesis. I'm gonna put negative 3 in there. And then on this calculator, to add an exponent, there's this up arrow button looking thing. I put that, and I'm gonna put the exponent 3. Plus 2 times negative 3 to the second power, minus, negative 3. And the answer is negative 6. So g of negative 3 is equal to negative 6.